The archery target that I usually use is a standard commercial target. It's beginning to fall apart. So when I went to my local store to buy a new one, they're pretty expensive. So I said I'd make my own with stuff I have here on the farm. So what I'm going to do is make a kind of a straw bale type target. I plan on using straw, wheat straw, I guess you could say, that's available right here on the farm. A lot of you, there's nothing wrong with buying straw bales, but for me, they're not that convenient. And when I make my own, I can determine how thickly packed they are, as well as I can choose different types of weeds, such as Lespedeza, broom straw, to pack in. So, and then another reason too is I don't generally like to bring it at the end of the season. This will kind of rot, so I can put it in my compost pile. So I don't know what commercial straw has been sprayed with, so at least here I can make sure it was something that's not been sprayed. So the easiest way to do this is just get a sturdy cardboard box, okay? This one is a printer box. I generally prefer them to be rectangular. This one is more square. Actually, this will be a lot more like a commercial one in size, but this will work. What I do, and you can use paracord, you can use twine. I use real baler twine. So even if you don't live on a farm supply store will have a huge spool of baler twine, and I find it so useful for so many purposes. So I'm actually going to be using baler twine. So anyhow, I cut about a 1-inch slit, a third of the way across my box, and I slide my cord here. Want to allow enough space here to get it under the straw, and I just simply slip it into the notch. So I'm going to pack my straw in here. You want to make sure the straw doesn't have to be perfect, but for the most part is going perpendicular. If your strings are going this way, you want your straw to go crossways, and then we'll cinch it up once we've got it full. So I'm going to fill this up. It's good to do this I'm using a concrete surface. That way the bottom of the box is supported. If you don't have a concrete surface, you might try to see about cutting the bottom of the box out. However, that will definitely weaken the box. So anyhow, let me go get some straw to pack in here, and we'll see how it works. Okay, I'm wearing a mask because there's still quite a lot of seeds in this. Best to try to shake it off as much as you can. Make sure the direction of your straw is going in the same direction. You're not like crisscrossing it or anything. I just put it in here, fold over the amount it wants to curl up. Same for the other side. Fold it over, and you want to pack this extremely tightly, so every so often you want to get in and stomp it. Like I said, there's a bit more seeds than I'd like to have in here, so when you're doing this for your own, you definitely want to shake off every bit of straw before you put it in there. And now we'll just fill it up. Okay, you stomp it down. Flatten as much as you can. It'll spring back once you get off of it, but you want to get it as compressed as you can. This is why you need a really sturdy cardboard box to do this. Okay. Now, I said to lay the straw so it's all going as much as possible in one direction. You're going to have some go side to side, but as much as possible, and you want it going across the two strings that you've put in prior to putting in the straw. Tie these two and cinch it up as much as I can. You kind of want it to pop out of the grooves on either side. That way you know you're getting it really tight. Now, it doesn't look so neat. Doesn't look as neat as a commercial straw bale. The tighter you pack it in, the better. Okay, here you see the bale dumped out of the box. Like I said, the tighter you pack it, the better off you'll be. I cut some of these stragglers off to make it look a little neater. This is from the bottom once I dumped it out. Top looks a little rougher, so you can just kind of snip off some of this. Neaten it up. So here is your finished bale. I generally recommend shooting it from the end here, not across, because you don't want to break your baler twine. Yeah. Okay, here's taking a few shots at the hay bale here. Remember, free except for the cost of the baler twine. Just using weeds found around the farm. One of the things I like about this, remember I'm comparing it to a $75 store-bought one. I could pull out very easily the arrows. I can't tell you how many field tips I've left in a commercial arrow target, okay? Yes, you can tear it apart later on, but that's a big problem, is that the commercial one holds the tips pretty tightly. Here I could just pull them out. Now, I've got a few sticking out the back that hit where it was less dense. I could just pull those on through. It does not bother the fletching at all. You couldn't begin to do that with a commercial target. Now, if you want to keep this for some length of time, you can cover it with a tarp, put it on a pallet. I personally like to just build one every year, let it rot, put it on my garden, free mulch, start a compost heap. So, just a very cheap way to do this.